This isn't about motivation. This is about why you keep waking up with dreams and going to bed with excuses. I'm about to expose the part of you that's quietly destroying your future, and by the end of this video, you'll either face it or keep lying to yourself. Watch carefully. You say you want change, but your habits scream comfort. You crave a new life, but you still negotiate with your old self. The truth, you're not tired. You're undisciplined. You're not unmotivated. You're inconsistent. And the reason you keep starting and stopping, rising and falling, building and breaking, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're still making your actions dependent on your emotion. And if you only move when you feel like it, then congratulations. You've just handed your future to your mood. And your mood doesn't care about your destiny. You want to be successful? Then learn this. Consistency is not about feeling good. It's about doing what's right even when it feels wrong. It's waking up at 5 a.m. when your body says no, working on your goals when the world says rest, showing up when no one is clapping. And let me tell you, the people who win in life aren't always the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They're the ones who made discipline louder than excuses. They're the ones who got addicted to showing up, not showing off. Your life is not being shaped by the big moments. It's being built or broken by the small ones. Every ignored alarm, every skipped rep, every I'll do it tomorrow is a silent vote for the life you say you don't want. And every day you repeat that pattern, you're not stuck, you're choosing. Yes, it's a choice. Pain now or pain later. Push now or regret later. Be uncomfortable now or be unseen forever. That's the trade. That's the price. And nobody's coming to pay it for you. If you ever wonder why nothing changes, it's because you keep waiting for the feeling to do the thing instead of forcing yourself to do it until the feeling catches up. High performers don't rely on hype. They rely on habits. They don't care about motivation. They chase momentum. And once you understand that, you stop negotiating with laziness. You stop saying, I don't feel like it, because now you know that voice is a liar. That voice is the reason you're still watching videos instead of building your dream. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The version of you that's inconsistent, that version must die. The version that only works when it's easy, that version must go, because your higher self, the disciplined, focused, unstoppable version of you is not born from comfort. It's born in repetition. It's born in silence. It's born in the dark when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, and when you're still showing up anyway. You want a better life? Force yourself to show up when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one's watching. That's the price. You don't rise by chance. You rise by force. You don't become unstoppable because you felt inspired. You become unstoppable because you were tired and still moved, afraid and still acted, broken and still built. That's what changes you. Not how you feel, but what you repeat. This isn't about perfection. It's about pressure, controlled pressure, self-applied pressure, the kind that breaks excuses and builds discipline. You must become the kind of person who doesn't wait for a perfect day to do what's necessary. You do it anyway, you train anyway, you build anyway, because that's how the future is won, not in sprints, but in daily, quiet, brutal consistency. And the truth is, this is war, not with the world, not with your circumstances, with yourself. Every day you wake up and face the same question, will I choose the version of me that quits or the one that conquers? And most people, they lose that battle before they even leave the bed, because they still think greatness is about feeling good. It's not. It's about refusing to negotiate with weakness. It's about setting a standard and obeying it like your life depends on it, because it does. Look around. Most people are sleepwalking through life. They don't need an alarm. They need a wake-up call. They don't need more motivation. They need more discomfort, because comfort is a liar. It tells you you're okay when you're not. It whispers you've done enough when you haven't even scratched the surface. It gives you permission to delay, to soften, to wait, and that's how dreams die. Not in dramatic crashes, but in soft, subtle surrender. But not you. Not anymore. You weren't made to coast. You weren't made to sit in potential. You weren't made to keep starting over. You were made to master yourself. And that means doing the hard thing until it becomes your new normal. It means repeating the action until the results are undeniable. It means showing up so relentlessly that even your doubts start to believe in you. And yes, It will be lonely. Yes, it will be exhausting. There will be days when it feels like nothing is working. But that's the test. The universe isn't ignoring you, it's observing you, watching to see if you'll fold under pressure or rise in silence. And every time you push through, every time you do what you said you would, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Eventually, consistency becomes identity. And once it's identity, it's automatic. That's when the switch flips. That's when you no longer have to force it, because it's who you are now. But you don't get there by waiting. You get there by forcing yourself to take the walk, to make the call, to write the chapter, to do the reps, especially when every part of you wants to stop. That's the breakthrough moment. That's when everything shifts, not outside but inside. When you decide, I don't do this because I feel like it, I do it because it's required. So if you're tired of falling off, tired of the cycle, tired of living with potential instead of proof, then this is your call to war. No more waiting, no more feelings, no more I'll start tomorrow. Starting now, you force it, you move regardless. You show up like your life depends on it because it does. But listen closely, we're just getting started. If this shook you, what's coming next will break your comfort in half. Because in the next few seconds, I'm going to say something that will either offend your ego or unlock your future. So don't move. Don't click away. What you hear next might be the wake-up call your entire life has been waiting for. Stay with me. If you're done negotiating with your weakness and you're ready to force your way into the life you were born to live, then write this in the comments. I don't need motivation. I need mastery. Say it boldly. Because the moment you speak it, you start becoming it. You want to know the real reason your life isn't changing? It's not because you're unlucky. It's not because you're broken. It's because you keep choosing easy over evolution. You keep running from discomfort like it's a punishment when it's actually the door to your next level. But you'll never walk through it until you realize this. Discipline is the language of transformation. You've been told your whole life to follow your passion. Wait until it feels right. Trust your energy, and look where that's gotten you. Half-finished goals, burned-out motivation, a mountain of potential buried under a graveyard of excuses. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Nobody wants to say, you don't need more inspiration. You need a system, a code, a fire you obey, even when you're tired of burning. That's what consistency is. It's not sexy. It's not fun. It doesn't get applause. But it builds empires in silence. It turns nobodies into legends. It turns average people into outliers. Because while everyone else is waiting to feel ready, the consistent one becomes unstoppable simply by refusing to stop. And don't lie to yourself. You know what you need to do. You just keep giving yourself permission to delay, permission to quit, permission to start fresh Monday. And every time you do that, you're not resetting. You're repeating. You're living the same year over and over and calling it growth. That's not progress. That's survival. And you weren't born to survive. You were born to rise, to dominate, to lead. And to do that, you have to kill the version of you that treats your goals like suggestions. So ask yourself right now, what if you stopped breaking promises to yourself? What if for 30 days you showed up no matter what? What if you forced it until it flowed? What if your emotions weren't the driver, but your vision was? The truth is, you already have what it takes. You just haven't demanded it from yourself long enough. Because pressure doesn't break diamonds. It reveals them. And pressure won't break you. It will birth the strongest version of you if you stop running from it. You think consistency is hard? You know what's harder? Regret. You know what really breaks you? Looking in the mirror 5 years from now and seeing the same version of yourself staring back, same habits, same excuses, same life, that's the real pain. That's the slow death no one talks about. Because inconsistency doesn't ruin you overnight, it eats you piece by piece. First your energy, then your identity, and finally your belief that change is even possible. But here's what they won't teach you in school, in self-help books, or on social media. Consistency is not a trait, it's a decision. And you don't make that decision once, you make it every day. The moment your alarm goes off, the moment your mind says not today, the moment your body begs you to rest, that's the battle. And most people lose before the war even begins, because they keep waiting to feel like fighting. But not you. You're still here. You're listening. That means something inside you isn't dead yet. Something inside you still believes in the person you were created to become. And that part of you, that fire, it needs to be fed. Not with comfort, not with rest, but with discipline, direction, and deliberate action. No one is going to hand you the life you want. No one is coming to build your habits for you. If you want change, force it. If you want results, repeat them into existence. That means when it's hard, you show up. When you're tired, you show up. When it's inconvenient, embarrassing, lonely, you still show up. Why? Because every single day you do, you cast another vote. Another vote for the version of you that's no longer optional, but inevitable. You say you want to be different, then prove it daily. Because the world doesn't respect intention. It respects execution. And no one cares how inspired you felt on day one. They want to see who you are on day 100. When the fire is gone, when no one's watching, when the grind is silent. That's where champions are made. That's where destiny is carved. Not in one loud moment, but in 1,000 quiet choices. So don't you dare stop now. Don't let your past patterns write your future story. Don't be another person who almost changed, almost got disciplined, almost became something great. Because almost is the language of the forgotten. And you were born to be remembered. So you want the secret? Here it is. You don't wait to become consistent. You force yourself until one day consistency becomes you. The reason most people stay stuck isn't because they lack potential. It's because they keep choosing temporary comfort over permanent growth. They keep telling themselves, I'll do it tomorrow, without realizing that tomorrow is a graveyard for the promises you keep burying alive. Every time you delay, every time you choose distraction over discipline, you're not just wasting time, you're training your brain to doubt your own word. And if you can't trust you, how can anyone else? This is bigger than hitting goals. This is about becoming the kind of person who doesn't flinch when it's hard. The kind of person who doesn't fold when life turns up the heat. Because here's the brutal truth. Life is going to test you, not once, not twice, over and over again. And every time it does, it's asking you one question. Can you stay consistent when nothing around you is? When the motivation dies, when no one believes in you, when progress is slow, when results don't come fast enough, that's when most people retreat. That's when the average give up, but you're not average. And this video wasn't made for someone looking for average advice. This is for the few, the focused, the fed up, the future builders, the ones who understand that repetition is the religion of the relentless. You don't rise because you're inspired. You rise because you built it into your code. And let's be real. There will be days when you hate it. Days when everything in you screams to quit. Days when the voice in your head sounds convincing, logical, seductive. That voice will tell you, take a break. You've done enough. No one will notice if you slack today. And that's the moment that defines you. Not the big wins, not the highlight reel, but that quiet war between your comfort and your calling. If you want to be uncommon, you have to do uncommon things. Like showing up when it's inconvenient, pushing through when it's painful, and finishing what you started when your emotions are begging you to stop. That's the difference between those who dream and those who build, between those who wish and those who win. This is how legacies are made, one disciplined day at a time, one brutal decision at a time. Not flashy, not loud, just consistent, ruthlessly, relentlessly consistent. So don't ask how long will it take, ask how long will I stay committed, because the answer to that question, it determines everything. You want results, but do you want the responsibility that comes with them? Because real success demands something from you. It demands that you show up on the days when you have every excuse not to. It demands that you become immune to your own mood, that you stop living based on how you feel and start living based on what you said you would do. Let me say this again for the version of you still clinging to comfort. Your goals do not care about your emotions. Your future does not care that you're tired. Your destiny does not wait for your convenience. You either do what it takes or you stay who you are. And here's the part no one tells you. The more you force consistency, the more powerful you become. Because every time you show up, you collect proof. Not for the world, for you. You build trust in yourself. You harden your identity. You rewrite your story, not with affirmations, but with action. And that action becomes momentum. That momentum becomes belief. And belief, that becomes a force no one can stop. But if you keep quitting, keep skipping, keep postponing, you teach yourself the opposite. that your word is flexible, that your word is flexible, that your dreams are negotiable. That pressure is permission to back off, and over time, it kills something inside you. Not all at once, quietly, subtly, until you wake up one day and realize you've built a life you don't recognize and don't respect. This is the part where most people fall off. The middle, the messy, the unsexy. The part where the high is gone and all that's left is the work. But if you can make it through this, if you can outlast your old self and not flinch, you will win. Not because you're special, but because you refused to fold. Because when it was easier to stop, you chose to continue. And here's something radical. Every action you take is a vote. Every skipped task is a vote for the quitter. Every time you follow through, that's a vote for the disciplined beast you're building. So who's getting more votes in your life right now? The excuse maker or the empire builder? Because consistency is not something you find. It's something you fight for, daily, brutally, without applause, without permission, without breaks. So now ask yourself the real question. Are you living a life that's built by decision or one that's crumbling under delay? Every time you let your feelings decide your actions, you're giving the weaker version of you a vote it doesn't deserve. And here's the most dangerous part. The more you let that version win, the stronger it becomes. It learns how to manipulate you. It knows exactly what to whisper when you're tired, exactly how to justify quitting, exactly how to turn a one-day break into a 3-month setback. And you think you're in control, but you're not. You're being ruled by a soft, scared version of you that was never meant to lead. But there's another version of you, one that doesn't ask for motivation, one that doesn't care about applause, one that doesn't stop when it's hard, because it was born in the hard. That version, it's buried under years of quitting, but it's not dead. It's waiting. Waiting for the day you stop chasing hype and start choosing hard things over and over and over again until it becomes normal. And that's what consistency is. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's simply doing what needs to be done, whether you like it or not, especially when you don't. It's waking up and attacking the mission, not because you feel brave, but because the mission demands it, because this is your life, and every wasted day is a debt your future self will be forced to pay. So here's the truth you've been avoiding. If you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. If you're tired of feeling stuck, stop letting your feelings lead. If you're tired of watching others pass you, stop betraying your own standard. You don't become disciplined by accident. You become disciplined by forcing it when it doesn't feel good, by pushing when no one's watching, by building momentum out of nothing, by getting so fed up with your old life that you become ruthless with your new one. Consistency isn't a trait you're born with. It's a decision you declare over and over again until your weakness can't recognize you anymore, until the world stops asking if you'll show up, because now you're the one they expect to show up every time. And that's when the game changes. That's when you become untouchable. Not because you're perfect, but because you're predictable. Because your grind is now your identity. Because your execution is louder than your excuses. Because your consistency is no longer forced. It's forged. Let me ask you something dangerous. What would your life look like if you actually kept your word to yourself? Not once, not for a week, but for 6 months, a year. What if every promise you made to wake up earlier, to eat clean, to hit the gym, to build your dream was treated like a contract you couldn't break? You wouldn't just be more successful, you'd be unrecognizable, you'd be feared, respected, unstoppable. But the truth is, you've been building the wrong habit, quitting. You've trained yourself to start fast and fade out, to get inspired, then disappear, to get close, then sabotage it all. And no, this isn't because you're lazy. It's because you never learned how to force yourself through resistance. You wait for clarity. You wait for the mood. You wait for alignment. But all of that is fantasy. Winners don't wait. They move. They act in chaos. They execute while confused because they know something you haven't accepted yet. You don't rise by avoiding resistance. You rise by mastering it. And here's where most people lose. They think being consistent means being perfect. But it doesn't. It means you never stay down. It means even if you miss a step, you don't miss the mission. It means that when your schedule gets wrecked, your standards don't. You see, your dream doesn't care how you feel. It only cares if you're still showing up, still working, still sweating, still moving forward when 99% would have stopped. That's when the compound effect kicks in. That's when average people start calling you gifted. But it's not a gift. It's the scars of consistency. Because every breakthrough is hidden behind a wall of boredom, pain, and silence. And if you're not willing to break through that, you'll never know who you could have been. This is it. No more waiting, no more breaks, no more being impressed by inspiration and allergic to discipline. If you want to win, force it. Every single day, until it no longer feels forced. Because now it's who you are. So this is it. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more obeying emotions. No more folding under pressure. You either force your way forward or you stay exactly where you are. Because the truth is, your future doesn't need another excuse. It needs a new version of you. One built in silence, refined in repetition and proven by consistency. This isn't about hype. This is about becoming. And the ones who become are the ones who never stop showing up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So go, not when you feel ready. Go now. Force it until it becomes you.